I got the intake valve covers off. Pretty much is pretty simple so far. I got the fuel rail sitting over here, just the battery disconnected. But I managed to get the cables flipped pretty far back. So, I mean, at this point, I got the front exhaust manifold off. I got the bolts off the back exhaust manifold, and you can see back here where it actually hooks, where the pipe hooks to the exhaust manifold. But I got the bolts to the exhaust manifold off, so I'm going to attempt to not even mess with those. I'm hoping I can just remove the head and then replace it and just line that back up. I mean, it's got a little bit of movement, so hoping I don't really have to deal with those bolts in the back, but we'll see. Really weird discoloration on this back head and the valve. I mean, they're all coppery looking. And I don't know, and compared to the front, totally different. It might just be the light. I don't think so, though. I mean, you can kind of see it. I'll wait till I get it off before I make that judgment call, but not sure what that is. Maybe one of these heads was replaced at some point. The bolts that I took out of, let me see if I got one here. The intake manifold bolts. Yeah, a lot of rust on them, if you can see. I don't know if you can see it. All of them, actually. Not all of them, but some of them are really bad. I don't see any reason why that should be. I suspect there's a problem, and then one of them was wet. So I don't know what the crux of the problem is yet, but some indication is there's some kind of leakage going on here. So I'm going to continue. Next step is there's actually this pan that comes out. I left that in there for now, so there's actually a bolt here and one here that holds this gasket in. Although, because there are some water passages right here. You got your exhaust ports right here, and then these water ports here that you can see there's copper in there from the additive I put in there. Everything's going well. Not that difficult so far. I'll be back. All right, so got one head off right now. Yeah, it was pretty interesting as I took the bolts out. This bolt here and here. So I don't know. They don't look. I mean, here's the bolts. They don't. Nothing looked particularly bad. They all look about the same. That came out of there. There's one somewhere else, a couple somewhere else. But two of them are pretty wet. So I don't see anything unusual. I mean, I don't, not knowing how this gasket went in initially, other than it's got some warping on it. I don't really see anything that would indicate, it doesn't necessarily mean this is only one side, that there was leaking over here. Again, I don't see anything, nothing. They actually don't even look all that, carboned up, although it's interesting that some of these, they're discolored differently. I suspect one of the plugs wasn't firing right, or I don't know if that's an indication there was water in the two of these, or I don't really know. Kind of be curious when I get the other one off if there's anything weird. So I'm going to get them cleaned up tonight probably. The heads, get the other one out, get them cleaned up tonight, and then see if I can find a place tomorrow that can check them out for me. And then we'll go from there. So, yeah, get the last head off, and then it's down to the cleaning portion of it. So what I'll probably do, I got some purple power, which I really like. That's the name of it. You get it at O'Reilly's. I'm going to spray everything down with that. I'll take these valve covers, spray them all down. The intake, spray it all down. The cowling, that's what it's called. Not sure. I'll know that later on. Get that all sprayed down with the purple power, and then maybe take it up to the car wash and power wash it, and get. It's going to be sitting here for a while, so it'll get good and dry. So I might as well take advantage of the fact that everything's apart, get it all degreased, and put it back together. Be nice and clean. Yeah, so wishful thinking on my part. Can't get to there's 4 bolts at the bottom of this head. Yeah, you probably never see them back in there. But they're down in there. I think it's the only one I can get to, the one you're looking at right there. The other ones are all behind the exhaust. So, underneath it, and I can move it side to side a little bit, but not enough. You can see I can move it, but not enough to get it in there. So, to get my wrench in there. I might take this off first, because that might give me enough left and right movement to then get the wrench in there. So I might try that, just to save me from getting to those bottom two. Because I think getting to this bolt here and the one underneath, which I can't see, but I'm pretty sure I can feel my way to it, might be easier than getting to those bottom two that are back there behind that oxygen sensor. Either way, to get that thing moving, I'm going to have to kind of do these over here anyway, so I'm going to do those first. So that's what we're going to work on now. Moving along. Okay, quick update. So, got all the everything off, got the heads off. Cylinders all look pretty good. Got to vacuum that out and cover up everything for the night. But they all look, they actually, cylinders look good. Valves actually look pretty good. I don't know the source of the problem. I mean, it's not, for sure. So, the head's off. Here's the other head. I mean, comparably, they're about the same. I don't really see anything. I mean, you don't see anything. You don't see anything that totally indicates it was a faulty head gasket or a blown head gasket. So, I'm going to take these in and get them checked. See if there's any cracks. Check them for evenness. Make sure they're nice and flat and within tolerance, and get some new gaskets in here. Put this thing together. So for now, it's I'm going to call it a night here. Come out tomorrow. I'm going to spend my day tomorrow cleaning everything up and taking these heads in and having somebody check them out. So. Okay, so where I last left off on this project, I had everything out of the engine, the heads, the valve covers, all the components, and I did take them up to the car wash, cleaned them all up, and was preparing to find a place to take them to get them tested. And it's not magnafluxing. That was the wrong phrase to use, because they're aluminum heads, so they can't magnaflux these heads. They do a pressure test. I'm not sure what that encompasses, but there's only one place I could find locally that does it, and they estimate $50 per head minimum to test them out, and then after that you got the cost of obviously fixing the head, machining it, the valve job if you decide to do that, other components. So I'm into it for $100 right there, just for the testing alone, and then if there's a problem, then the costs continue to spiral up. So what I did is I went on to eBay and I found a company, J&C, that's J&C Enterprises, that sells reconditioned heads. They got pretty good reviews. I did some research on them, and they were selling the heads for this 2002 Dodge Caravan for $155 a piece. So I decided to go ahead and make the leap, and I purchased two heads. They came yesterday. I'll show you real quick. I'm pretty pleased with how they look. So there's a couple little jobs I have to do there to switch a few components over, and I'm still waiting the arrival of the gaskets. So today's really going to be just about moving the rocker arms, and I'll show you that, and preparing the heads to go back into the engine. There's not really much else I can do until I get the gaskets in. But I think it's probably going to be a better way to go, and ultimately could reduce my cost. And maybe not, I might spend a little less getting them machined and getting them checked locally. But at the end of the day, I know I have a good product here. At least I'm pretty confident. I have two heads that have been properly machined and checked and tested. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm pretty happy with that decision. So anyway, I'll show you those the heads right now and what's got to be done. Okay, so obviously on the left here, it's one of the original heads that came out. This is the one I got from J&C. It's super clean. I looked it over. I'm really happy with it. So what I need to do today is I need to remove this rocker arm assembly here and bolt it on here. It should be pretty simple. I just got to figure out what they're torqued at. Looks like a 10mm bolt once again. So get that done, and then these heads have to get shipped back. Oh, I have to also remove this. These heads, when you buy the heads, you have to specify whether or not there's an EGR port, which is this little guy right here. Even though it's not used on this vehicle, it's plated off. I'm going to take this plate off, And oddly enough, I didn't get a gasket. And when I ordered my gaskets, I didn't order a set. I should have. Came with these, but I don't expect that gasket's going to be deteriorated to the point where I can't reuse it. So, at any rate, I'm going to put the heads, remove off what I need to, put them on here. These heads get shipped back. J&C pays for that. Put them back in the box, ship them back. So for $155, $310, I got 2 new heads. I cleaned up the valve covers, took them to the car wash. Like I said, it was the Purple Power, sprayed them down. They came out really, really good. Nice and clean, easy. No grease on the hands. The intake manifold, got it down as much as I could. It's pretty clean. I got to do a little cleaning still. So this is the throttle body, which if you saw from the first video, I just used some carburetor cleaner on there, and then sprayed the coil assembly here, that's springy assembly, with the BioShield, which I think I mentioned in another video I really, really like. It's a rust and corrosion protector. So I use that in a lot of I spray my tools and my weights and stuff and things in the garage so they won't rust during the winter. It works really well. So anyway, this is called, I kept calling it a cowling, and I don't know, I guess it's called a plenum, whatever. So that's all cleaned up. So everything is pretty grease free. Should make for a nice install. So today that's what I'm going to do. I don't know that I'll do another video. When I get the gaskets in and I get ready to start assembly, I'll show you. I'm actually going to work on the block a little bit and get it cleaned up as well. Get ready for the assembly, and I'm really happy. I've talked to a few folks. I'm fortunate that these are relatively inexpensive heads because they can get pretty pricey. So for me, it worked out. I think it's a really good solution. The heads are all been redone. The valves have all been redone. Saves me from having to do that. That's another factor. Anyway, so they look good. I'm really excited about that, and hopefully when I put all this back together, my problem is solved. Otherwise, boy, it's a bigger issue. I don't even want to say the phrase cracked block, but I can't imagine that that's it. I think this is going to fix her up, and I will show that assembly. Probably take me a couple videos to do that. So this will end up being probably 4 videos altogether. All right, I'm going to have at it. Here you go.